All right, let's go ahead and read this question together. Remember, as we read this, try to identify what the concept is, because there is a concept behind every math question on this SAT. So, in the xy plane, a line with the equation 2y equals 4.5 intersects a parabola at exactly 1 point. If the parabola has that equation, where b is a positive constant, what is the value of b? Okay. So if you need to pause this and reread the question on your own just to kind of figure out the concept, you're welcome to do that, but I'm going to move on. So when you see this question whereby you have a linear function and then you're given a quadratic function, and you're being told that those two equations intersect at exactly 1 point, you need to remember that when you solve systems of equations, the solution happens where graphs intersect. So I'm just giving you a quick sketch. Not that you did this, I just want to illustrate something. You might have a linear function that looks like that, and then the quadratic intersects it at one place like that. Or you might have a linear function and the quadratic and the linear intersecting at two places. That would be two solutions. Or they might not intersect at all, which means this system would not have any solutions. But this one has exactly one solution. So here's the quickest way to do it. You want to use Desmos. And the reason why you want to use Desmos is because you have too many unknowns. You don't know y, you don't know x, you don't even know b. So you want to use a feature on Desmos called slider, which I'm going to show you in 2 seconds. What you're going to do is plug in these equations, but first you have to make sure that y is isolated. So for this linear, we need to get y by itself. So right now it's 2y equals 4.5. You're going to divide both sides by 2 to get y by itself. So y equals 2.25. And then the quadratic equation, thankfully, is already isolated, so we don't have to do any changes to it. So now let's go to Desmos and graph these, and then you'll see the slider feature. So now we go ahead and type in each of our equations. Y equals negative 4x squared plus bx. The moment I type that in, I have this little feature pop up saying add slider. So I'm going to click on it, add slider. Now look at the graph here. You notice we have this linear function, y equals 2.25, it's up here, and then we have this blue function, which is the quadratic, and I'm just going to play around with this slider. Notice what happens to the quadratic function graph. It's moving as I move the slider to the left. So the question was saying, at what b value do we have one solution? So I'm zooming in so you can actually see. At exactly b equals negative 6. We have one solution, like right there. But remember, the question was saying where b is a positive constant. We don't want the negative. So we'll play around with this some more. There's got to be another place where we have that same one intersection. So I'm going to move the slider to the right side because we want a positive integer. As you can see, sure enough, right there, the b value, when the b value is 6, we again have one solution where the linear graph is touching the quadratic graph. So b is 6, and that's as easy as it gets when it comes to using Desmos and solving this type of equations.